ding 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 ding.
Fubble time.
Hello, my name is Teresa Tony.
And I'm Patrick Ziegler.
And we are
Fubble Entertainment.
And this is
Fubble time.
Yay! I screwed that up. I said it wrong.
No, you got it. You just paused.
I fubbled a little, but I want you to know why. Because in my head, I jumped to that time in 1990 or whenever it was that I don't know if you were there. I think you were when we were on Wood TV and they were interviewing the improv group and I pronounced my last name wrong. Do you remember that? Oh. I was like, they're like, hand the microphone to Patrick Ziegler, Roseanne Steffens, whatever.
Oh, isn't that on? Did we have that on VHS? That's dating us.
I don't know. I'm sure we had it on our iPhones, right?
Of course, on your flip phone.
A flip phone. No, I called myself Teresa Tomei, and that's really not my name. But
somebody recently did that, and I was like, they know the proper.
On my name?
Yeah.
I know that. Somebody said my name wrong recently. I remember that. I don't know who we were with. What are you doing? Are you looking something up?
No, I'm welcoming everybody.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Everybody.
All right. Well, let's welcome the person of the hour.
Oh yeah, and let's just say a loving blessing to the wonderful Cloris Leachman who left us today, and we had the great honor of meeting a couple times and just crazy fun.
She was a whirlwind, man.
Oh
she was a whirlwind. Yeah.
And the Braggs lady.
Yes. Yeah. Do you know the Mrs. Braggs? You Fubble people watching that Mrs. Braggs stuff that you put on your food. Anyway, the Mrs. Braggs lady was there and trying to get in to see Cloris. I got her Mrs. Braggs. She had a cake.
Because she promotes Braggs. She promoted Braggs.
Oh, she promotes it.
Oh yeah, she was a health person. She was a vegetarian for like ever and everything.
That's so funny. Well, it worked for her. How old was she?
94.
God love her.
I know.
Well, God love this gentleman.
Yes.
Darius Colquitt is an award-winning entertainer, educator, writer, director, entrepreneur. I mean, that's more than a triple threat. I was like, that's a quin threat? Original, and he doesn't have dancer down here, but I think he can dance.
I think he danced on Come On Over.
I think he danced on Coming Over. Yeah, I think he was in the Wayback Machine with us. I think maybe I knew him through the Children's Museum is how we first got to know him. I don't quite remember. Anyway, he started out as a child actor. He's been appearing in Subway restaurants in an ABC television movie all before the age of 10. He shows
Subway restaurants or Subway commercials?
Subway commercials.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Appearing in Subway restaurants. I've done that.
Colquitt started out as a child actor, appearing in several advertisements. Usually I don't read verbatim, and that one I didn't do well.
If you're reading, though, it'd be worse if I was.
Yes, Patrick is dyslexic. He has premiered and produced or directed over 90 productions and features with numerous theatrical companies and entertainment entities throughout the Midwest, including Cadillac Bros, HARPO Studios, Cornerstone Productions, Bloc Ensemble Theatre, Chocolate Chips Theater Company. I don't know what that is, but that sounds adorable.
Love that name. Yeah, right?
Yeah. And certainly here at home, Actors Theater, Jewish Theater, Grand Rapids, Ebony Road Players, WGVU, he and the American Immersion Theater. He is shared some spaces and performing with some amazingly talented celebs, Oprah Winfrey, Maya Angelou, Keith David, Felicia P. Fields, Taraji P. Henson. Oh, that's very exciting. I love her. The Judds. I love that. There's a juxtaposition. That's a fun one. He has all the while built this experience has allowed him the opportunity of serving on boards for several Midwest arts organizations, while he continues to build and maintain his personal artistic entity, Darius Colquitt and Company. He curates live arts and tours, and his tours his original solo works. Boy, I'm tongue-tied today. This is so unlike me. He is currently serving as acting educational director for Ebony Road Players. I mean, I'm tongue-tied probably because this is so
goes on and on and on. Let's bring him in and he can talk about it.
Yes, we'll have him talk about it. But we have him here today because we're celebrating also, in addition to all of this, he's also an online content creator. And he's endeavored into online gaming. And so we have so much to talk to him about today. So way too long to get here. But now let's welcome Darius Colquitt.
Yay!
Hey guys, how are you?
Good.
Great. How are you, Darius?
Oh man, I'm laughing on the inside and on the outside, visually, clearly, because even hearing people read all of that stuff, it's always amazing to me to hear like, oh, I guess I did do that. Yeah. I forgot. Especially when you've written your bio years ago. It's like, okay, well, that's out there. It exists. I'll update it as we go. And yeah, every time I hear it, it kind of amazes me a little bit.
And that you're not 85 years old.
And that I'm not 85. Yes, absolutely.
That you've done all that already, which is amazing. And
you know, it's so funny. I remember being with an old board member back when I ran the Children's Museum. That's how I met you, right?
That is exactly how you met me. I moved to Grand Rapids, and the first job I had when I was here was at the Grand Rapids Children's Museum.
That's what I remember.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't think you worked with us very long, but I remember you being there.
I was there for about a year and a half.
Okay.
About a year and a half. And within that time, that's when I got to meet you, Patrick, because I came in to work on Come On Over.
You did, right? You danced on it, right?
I did like 3 or 4 background spots on like 2 episodes, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I met you guys that way, and it has been a joy and a pleasure knowing all of you ever since.
It's a long journey. But what I was going to say is I remember this board member who, you know, I was lamenting that I hadn't accomplished as much in my life as I wanted to. And he was like, Teresa, I've seen your resume. Like, take a chill pill. It's okay. You've accomplished a lot. You know, it is. I don't know if that comes with being creative people that can never be satisfied. I'm going to try to figure out how to sing in every.
No, you're singing it again.
But I feel like, I don't know if that's a part of being a creative personality. I mean, I'm going to ask you this question before we jump in, just because we're on the topic. Do you, do you feel like, I'm taking steps in the right direction? Are you happy with where you are? Do you want to be further along?
I mean, for me, it's always been a thing of enough is never enough. No matter where you find yourself. And I mean, this is just in life in general. You're always looking for that next plateau. You're always looking for the next thing, the next best thing for you. For me, I can be very honest about this. For me, I never expected to be back in Grand Rapids. I thought, okay, I came from Chicago. I came here, went to school. That was going to be what it was. And then I was going to go off into the world, find myself in New York or wherever, and just do that. But life has different plans. That is the thing. That is the thing that I'm learning the more I live. It's like life says, hey, you got plans? Forget that. Here's 20 things for you. And you just roll with the punches. So I can definitely say, even though I'm not where I planned to be, I feel so confident in the place that I've found myself throughout the last 5 to 10 years. It's been a beautiful journey. It really has.
Well, we have Kelly. Michelle is tuning in from Arizona.
That's a buddy of mine. That's a buddy. Yes. Yeah, she and I did a bunch of theater in Chicago. That is a good friend of mine. She's actually, I keep calling her friend, but I found out recently she's actually my cousin. we found out
your cousin can be your friend.
But I mean, you know, you get used to saying a certain thing. But yeah,
right,
I found out she was related to me, and it was like, oh my God, what? So yeah,
that's fun.
You know, you talk about the Grand Rapids thing, and it's interesting because it's like, you know, I went to college in Kalamazoo and then moved to New York City and then moved to Los Angeles and ended up in Chicago and then ended up back in Grand Rapids doing the children's TV show with Teresa. And it was like, this is amazing. I was so thrilled because I love Grand Rapids. And so we've been able to produce out of Grand Rapids and create out of not all of our projects are always done in Grand Rapids, but we did backstage drama there. So there is so much in that city, you know, to be able to embrace. And we'll talk a little bit about that. But we want to start out, even though we've gone down a rabbit hole, crazy, kind of like what life, you know, that drawing that they say life looks like this, and it actually does that.
The swirls, yes.
Back, we always ask our guests, where, when, how do you remember that you first got bitten by the entertainment bug?
Oh dear God, I've told this story to everyone. So I was that annoying little kid who used to sit in front of the TV, and I'd watch all of my favorite shows. Most of them would be like, you know, the classic stuff, like I Love Lucy, Gilligan's Island, all of that stuff. Like that it would get me excited. But I would also be that kid who was annoying his mother all the time, saying, "Hey, mama, I can do that. I can do that, mama. I promise. Let me try it. I can do it. Watch me." And by the time I turned 6, she got annoyed with the fact that I was so enthralled with being able to do the things I saw on TV. And she said, "Okay, well, let's see if you really can." And from that moment on, she just started manning and producing my career.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she immediately became a production mom, not knowing anything about it. This is pre-internet. So, you know, she was going out, finding the ads in the newspaper, finding the listings of all the right talent agencies and photographers and all of that stuff.
And where was this, Darius?
This was back home in Chicago.
Chicago, okay.
Yes, this was back home in Chicago. And I mean, as insane as it sounds, that is how I got to the point of being able to say I have a 26-year career, because I started at age 6. But yeah, I mean, she pushed me out there. She gave me every opportunity that she could within her, you know, capabilities. And I found myself in the presence of a lot of the people that Teresa mentioned earlier. That's how I first met Oprah Winfrey. I've met her 3 times in life now. That's how I met Maya Angelou, God rest her soul. That's how I met Keith David.
That's amazing. Maya Angelou, come on, shut up.
And here's the thing: as a child, you don't know who people are. So for me, it was just like, okay, Grandma Maya, because all the kids would sit at her feet and listen to her talk about things. And I didn't grasp how great of an experience I was having until I was well in my teens. I'm like, oh my God, I met Maya Angelou.
That's amazing.
It's a huge blessing. And, you know, I count myself as one of the lucky ones to even have been in the presence of some of these people.
Yeah.
I'm so impressed. I'm consistently impressed because I just did not have the capacity to think like this. Would be to see somebody on a television screen and go, I can do that. Like, I never made the connection.
That's not true. You created your whole MASH episode.
This is true. Eventually, I did write myself into a MASH episode.
Oh, wow.
I created a MASH episode. So I guess it was by 10. But I don't think I thought of that as a career. That I knew that was a fantasy. I didn't see that as a career choice. I saw that as a fantasy.
See, for me, what it became was I was going to school and, you know, constantly being around other kids that were having their experiences. And then I would go home and I would watch kids on TV have their experiences, you know, Barney and Friends, all these different things. And by the time I was about maybe 8 or 9, people kept comparing me to the one black child on Barney, saying that I was Derek because my name was Darius.
Oh, gee.
And I'm like, no, that's not me. It would be cool if it was, but that's not me. So automatically for me, it was a thing of, if they're having these experiences, why can't I? What is actually holding me back from being able to do this stuff? So yeah, by the time I turned 16, I started manning my own career, because my mom, she was done. She got to the point where she was like, okay, I'm tired. I got to make the ducats for the actual house. You know, your little checks here and there, sometimes they help, but whatever. So by that point, like you said, I had been bitten by the bug, and I was not letting go no matter what. So,
you know, it's interesting because I watched shows and I never thought, I always said, I want to do that. It never was like, I can do that. It was like, I want to do that. And it's interesting because I guess there was a part of me that was saying, I can do that because I've done it, you know. Interesting from your brother, Teresa. And, but it's true, right? And it goes to Teresa's one-woman show a little bit. And then our regular Kevin says, I'll second that.
Yeah.
But it is interesting having that influence in, from a parent and from an elder in some way.
So did you have early, I mean, besides working with all these people, did you have early mentors? I mean, because your career is so varied and what you do is so varied, did you have mentors in theater, or how did?
I did not have many mentors early in life. Early in life, it was just a matter of, I knew that there was something that I saw that I thought was cool that I wanted to do. That was really what it was like. Cause starting out, I thought I was going to be a singer. Like that was what I knew I was going to do. My grandmother was a singer. She sang in one of the biggest choirs in Chicago. And I'm like, I'm going to do what grandma did because that's what I'm supposed to do. And I knew it like strongly. So that was the trajectory I set for myself even before I realized I was an actor. Like as a kid, I didn't realize I was an actor. I just thought I went and had fun one summer and did this thing that a lot of other people were there for. I didn't equate the idea of, oh, I am really a professional actor getting paid to do this work. So yeah, for me, it was all about learning as much about music as I could, nuzzling myself under my choir teacher in elementary school. Hey, Mr. Wright, I love you.
Nice.
You know, just that was my trajectory, only to find that theater was pulling at my coattails really, really hard. And that's where my love dwells now. So
go ahead.
I was gonna say, so does that, so I keep talking about all these very things that you do, and you just said theater is, but can you share a little bit? I mean, the Reader's Digest condensed version of what a typical because you are so varied. So what are all of these?
And I'll put up your website so people can find you there. Awesome. And then also we'll put up, which I love, is your link tree. Is that how you say it? Link tree, right? Link
tree, yeah.
Where you can find everything that Darius does that he's going to talk a little bit about right now.
Yes. And it's a lot. It is a lot, but you know, I'm finding my way. I think that's the thing that's kind of made my artistic journey interesting. It's that I knew what I wanted to do in life, but I knew that there were a dozen different avenues to find my way there. And I'm also a big proponent of not giving up on yourself.
Nice.
I've dealt with a lot of issues in life. I found myself homeless on several different occasions. I've skipped around from state to state, friend to friend, couch to couch. And even in the midst of all of that, I still knew that there was a trajectory that I had to shoot for. There was a certain angle that I had to, you know, find myself traveling towards. So for me, life right now is interesting because of the pandemic, because of all the stuff we're dealing with, but I'm still kind of finding my way through both social media as well as online content creation. So for me right now, this is what a typical day looks like. I get up in the morning, I take my medicine. I do take medicine in the morning. I found out I have a blood condition out of nowhere. So I take care of myself. I make sure I have a few hours to keep myself, aligned and in check. And then by noon, it's like, okay, everything that needs to happen now. So through my company, I do a lot of social media management. One of my biggest clients out of Chicago is this group called Brooks Permissions, and they are the licensing agency for the works of Gwendolyn Brooks. I've actually known them since I was 11 years old, and that's where Chocolate Chips Theater Company comes in. Yeah, her daughter ran Chocolate Chips, and I started taking classes with them. Then I started performing with them. And then when they went away eventually, and when Mama, Gwendolyn Brooks, when she passed on, they redirected and started Brooks Permissions.
Wow.
So since pretty much almost their inception, I've been handling their social media. We have huge projects that come out regularly. I've started making comic books for them. If it's artistic, I'm doing it.
Nice.
But needless to say, I start my day, focus, get myself ready, meditate, do whatever I have to do to get myself ready for a day. I take care of anything social that I have to do with them or any other client that I have. That usually takes up a good 3-4 hours midday. After that, I stop, I take time for myself and do something that gives me joy. If it's as simple as getting on my stream and playing video games so that people can watch, if it's as complex as writing the next chapter of a book I'm working on, whatever it is that I'm doing, I find the time to give myself joy. And that's the thing that I think is lacking right now for a lot of people because of how hard last year was.
Right.
People aren't finding the things that make them happy anymore because they're so worried about, will I make it to the next day?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's a typical day for me right now.
Kelly says Trish Nicole Clark.
Oh, she's she's tagging one of our mutual friends.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, what is she?
That's funny. It doesn't show up as a tag. That's interesting.
Okay. Yeah. She's tagging a friend.
So through those different things that you do, you're bringing that. I mean, gaming is definitely online. What are some of the other things that you're presenting that people can watch that you have done and that you might be doing in the future?
Oh, well,
or presently.
Yes. I found myself also being a regular participant in this really great group called Zooming the Movies. A buddy of mine out of Chicago named Kevin Pollack, fabulous actor, wonderful singer. He and I have been friends for years, and as soon as the pandemic hit, he knew that theater people needed an outlet.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, let's face it, if you're working in theater professionally, your check just went away because nobody's coming to anything public.
Right.
And you at least need to be able to continue to, stretch your boundaries, find your skill set and work at it. And what he did was he took the time to say, okay, let me pull all my friends together. We're just going to start reading movie scripts. And it started there. And from there, that it's blossomed into him doing special things for the Actors Fund out of New York, him creating tons of different opportunities for other actors who may not have very well had these opportunities before. So yeah, with them, I've read, like about 12, 13 scripts at this point. The most recent one I read, Into the Spider-Verse, and I played Miles Morales.
Nice.
So I'm very much not that age, but I can give you the voice if you need it.
We have a friend, Vicki Lewis is doing a Zooming the Movies.
Oh, I saw that they're doing Steel Magnolias, right?
Yes. They're doing Steel Magnolias. Absolutely. But yeah, he's just from that one little seed, he's been able to create so much for other people. So I've done that. That's my aunt. Oh
yeah, I love you seeing that. Oh my gosh, how sweet.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, I've done that. Again, the gaming thing, something that I didn't expect to be as big as it became. I built a gaming stream simply called DC Plays, and I play a bunch of games that I love playing, a bunch of games that I have been wanting to play for years and never got the chance to because I didn't have the setup or whatever. And it started as a gaming stream, and then it became the largest nerd support group that I've ever come across. And I say that with love because we call it the stream that love built. That is specifically what the name of it is. We come in with the right intention. We come in to share our days, share our time with each other. This heart back here, I designed years ago, and now it's the symbol of the stream. Everything that we do, I always say, lead with love. That's how I end every stream. I tell people, lead with love, and I promise if you do it correctly, it'll never lead you wrong. So yeah, that is probably my lifeblood right now in a time where we can't be near people and we can't hug and be close like we'd like to. This has allowed me the opportunity to take what I have in me and give it to somebody else. So, I mean, and I've been doing that almost all pandemic. And it's been pretty amazing.
I noticed you started early on in the pandemic. You share a lot of stuff live. Just you'll go Facebook Live. You're very open book. You share a lot of your personal life, your sorrows, your challenges, your frustrations, your anger, your whatever you're feeling. I mean, it's beautiful.
Absolutely.
The honesty that you wear on your sleeve. I also remember early on in the pandemic, you were like, we need to raise Black voices, Black artists. What kind of work have you been doing there? And my sense was you were struggling to get participation. How did that endeavor work for you?
Absolutely. So one of the initiatives that I've been working on with my company is Black Art Matters. I saw the hashtag of Black Life Matters. It absolutely stuck because I know how important it is to say that on a regular basis, especially with some of the things we've seen over the course of the last months. Not gonna say anything else beyond that. But what compelled me to even start the initiative was that there were a lot of arts organizations. There were a lot of people that I knew as artists who were finding their way, but also finding sort of a struggle in being able to do that. There's funding out there, but people may not be able to find it. There are opportunities, but people may not be able to find them. So the initial idea for Black Art Matters is to create a Rolodex, essentially, of Black artists throughout the Midwest. That's the first step.
Oh, cool.
And then to expand that throughout the country. My ultimate goal for it is actually something that I started in 2018. I did a 1 week festival here at the Dog Story Theater. May she rest in peace. Yeah, I know it hits hard.
Yeah, I forget.
But I did a 1 week festival there called BAM Fest, or Black Art Matters Fest. And it brought together poets and actors and vocalists and all.
When did you do that? When did you do that?
This was in 2018.
Okay.
This was in 2018. It was the first one. It was experimental. It happened during Art Prize, so I knew we wouldn't get a lot of traction. But it was still a way to allow the people, especially here in town, who have these amazing gifts to be able to give them to an audience that would appreciate them.
Yeah.
So that was the birth child of Black Art Matters. I'm hoping to extend that into being an online sort of celebration itself.
That's fantastic.
And the goal is to set it around Juneteenth, just because it is a very important time for Black culture, for Black society. And a lot of people I'm finding don't know the history of what Juneteenth even is. Right. So, and that's another proponent for me. As long as I'm educating and giving some kind of enlightenment, then I'm doing my job. That is what I'm supposed to do in life. And that is why, Teresa, as you said, I'm such an open book, because I know that the things that I've been through, as crazy as they seem, as crazy as they look on the surface, are going to be inspiring to somebody else as they're going through their journey. So,
well, you definitely go ahead, Teresa.
No, I was just going to say, I think that's so critical. I mean, it's so, I was just kind of in a conversation with my sister about this week, just about, I am grateful because I, as an artist, put my family stuff out there, and my family lets me do that on some level. And it's not their way. Their way isn't to put their stuff out there, but that's my way. And I'm kind of motivated the same as you are. I hope to make an impact somehow. I hope that somebody could maybe learn from my mistakes or learn from my challenges or,
absolutely. And when I actually,
Sean Lewis says, "This is awesome, bro."
Hey, Sean, that's Kelly's husband.
Nice.
But yo, to piggyback off what you just said, Teresa, that when I saw that you wrote your one-woman show and you were putting it out there, I was so taken aback and I was so proud, only because I know how difficult it is to take your journey, no matter how personal, and put it into words for someone else to digest. I put together my one-man show a few years back called Till the World Blow Up. And it's simply about myself and my parents growing up on the south side of Chicago and what that looks like, both in a historical aspect and a personal aspect. And not just from the family dynamic, but also from the adoption and artistic dynamic. I found out at 24 I was adopted.
Oh, wow.
So that changed a lot of my trajectory. It changed a lot of my thinking, my thought process, and how I deal with life in its own way. So yeah, I definitely understand what it means to put that journey on paper and then just give it to somebody and say, hey, take it. Here you go.
Oh, my friend Jan, who's down here in Florida, says, I love his outlook on life.
Oh, thank you.
It's interesting. One of the songs that I have been, for some reason, I'm listening to almost every day. But both of you guys talking about is I've Got to Be Me, the Sammy Davis Jr. version of it. And it's just, it's just so inspiring of, I got to do it. I have to say it. And I might not be anybody else's way, and I might have to go alone, but I have to do it. Right. Mm-hmm. And with that is there one modality, expression that you resonate with the most? I mean, definitely, for me is stage. It just is. I love all of it, but being on stage and performing is it for me. But I love everything else about it. Everything else I do, but that is probably the number one thing. And I don't get to do it that much.
I was going to say, you got to do more of that, son.
I know. I have to do other things.
I think for me, oh gosh, that is such a hard question, because if I'm focused on it, I'm fully devoted to it at the moment. If I'm writing a song because I need whatever this feeling that's in me to be out of me so that other people can rejoice in it, then that's where my focus is. If I'm, helping some kid write a piece for, a theatrical workshop, and he doesn't understand exactly what he wants to say, then my heart is making sure that he gets to that point, as difficult as it may be. And even though I pull my hair out sometimes,
not too much though. You have enough of it. You can...
not too much, as Uncle Jesse says, watch the hair. But I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, for me, it's whatever my primary focus is at that moment. I live in it as fully as I can. I think if there was one thing that, if there was one thing I would have to choose to do for the rest of my life and never let go, it would probably be theater.
Okay.
It would probably be theater, because theater has taught me the most, not just about the world, but about myself as well. We were talking about this before we even started, how I've had the opportunity to be in productions where I've played multiple characters in one production. And yes, I'm losing my mind because I'm ripping through costumes and putting on new wigs and doing all of this stuff that I have to do to be ready. But every single journey is a learning experience, no matter what it is. Every single one. And if you don't take it all in, then you are not giving your best. You're not. And you're not affording yourself the best opportunity for yourself and the people that experience it. So yeah, I think theater.
Well, I'm glad to hear that
thing.
because you are a fantastic performer. You're a
Oh,
fantastic actor, and I've had
thank
the
you.
privilege to see you in a couple of live shows, and just blew me away. The Wall. What was the name of that?
Oh, Hit the Wall.
Hit the Wall.
Oh, dear God. Oh goodness, playing Carson. Yes, Carson. Whoo.
Yeah.
Carson
But
took me on a
seriously,
journey.
that was fantastic.
Thank you.
I want to know what would happen to you. Here's a cruel question. What would happen to you, or maybe not, what would happen to you if somebody said to you, you know what, Darius, the world has decided that you can't do creative stuff anymore and you've got to do a 9-to-5 job. From here on out, we're going to put you at a bank. And I think you're going to have to be in management for the rest of your life. Like, what would that do to you? Could you do that?
Okay, so I have definitely done a ton of jobs in life where that was what it was like. You know, you have to do this thing because this is the thing that pays the bills, and this is the thing that you have to do. You can't focus on anything. What sucks about that experience is that I still find a way to incorporate whatever it is that I do artistically into whatever I'm doing at work. Be it the way that I approach, if I'm a server, be it the way that I approach a table and have a conversation with people. If I am doing clerical work, be it it might be the way that I associate with my coworkers, or, write an email, the way I phrase things, the way I send things out. The arts has been the biggest teacher and proponent of life for me. But if I couldn't do it anymore, oh gosh, I would roll with the punches because that's what we all have to do in life. But I pride myself in having been a person that has lived not only through the arts, but off of the arts as long as I can, think back. If it came down to me teaching somebody else how to do whatever it is I've done, then I've done that. If it came down to, finding myself in someone's office, but it still being a methodology to create whatever it is, the best damn spreadsheet you ever saw, then you know what? Then it's going to be colorful and pretty and still ring Darius, because that's just the way I approach life. The arts is life for me, and without that, we ain't doing much living around here.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. What
a great note to end on.
I know. Boom. 7:40 almost. It's crazy.
I love Ring Darius. That is just a great statement. Great statement. Darius, thank you so much. People, again, check him out at dariuscolquitt.com. And then I'm going to put the link tree in there one more time that people can simply click over. Seriously, this was wonderful. It's a joy having you and being able to work with you. And we didn't even mention you were in our production that we just did of the Santa Hat.
Of the Santa Hat, yes.
Which was great. You had to tow away Levi Chris's car, and
I love that you showed up with the jacket on too. That you came in prepared.
And see, that's the thing. You already caught me in the midst of doing my Zoom in the movie stuff. I had like 2 of them planned on the opposite sides of that being scheduled. So it was like, okay, I have my costume ready. I'll just pull this over and put it on, and all right, we're ready. Let's do it.
It worked. It worked great. Kelly says, "Good job, Darius. Thank you for sharing your story. So inspiring."
Yeah.
Yay. Thank you for tuning in, Kelly.
Yeah.
Yes. Thanks for being here.
It's so fun seeing some of our guest friends showing up and everything. So thank you, Darius. Don't run away. We'll put you behind, but don't run away.
Cool.
Okay.
We had a little bit of technical. Did you get a little technical difficulty from him?
No, is that what you were making that face for?
Yeah, I was getting technical difficulty from him. It's kind of jumping on mine. Oh, that's good. That's good. But I heard every single thing he said. So I was like, okay, he was freezing a little bit, but I heard everything he said. So I was happy about that. So yay. Isn't that great? I love him. I'm so glad we had that conversation with him. So nice.
so great. And I look forward to being able to work with him again in some form. In some way, right?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
So
and you
next,
can see how he's a teacher. You can see why he could be the education director, right?
And I loved what Jan said. I love his outlook on life. And some of it, so much of it is that it reminded me of when I worked at Starbucks, and it was how I loved how he talked about his creativity, and it was like I brought my creativity working at Starbucks.
And what did that do for you?
I got employee of the month in the first month I was.
You weren't even there a full month, and they were like, "He's employee of the month."
Love it. So next month we kick off a month of people in the arts in relationship with each other.
Yeah.
And we're going to start it with our significant others.
We're also very creative type people.
Yeah. And have a few interesting things in common as some other profession stuff that they do as well. Mm-hmm. So next week will be, our guests will be Mark Anthony Lord and
Fred Stella, although I haven't confirmed that yet with him, so just remind him. And he didn't show up tonight. He shows up, he's going to kick himself when he finds out he missed.
Of course, you haven't confirmed that with him because you guys don't share anything with each other.
We do. We just forget what to talk about.
I love Mark. Mark goes, I have to share my night with Fred.
I wouldn't be surprised if Fred said the same thing.
Love it. All
right,
right, everybody. So tune in next week. It'll be a lot of fun. And as we always say,
we got to get out of here.
Gotta go.